I just finished DragonSword, the spiritual successor to Dragon Nest, done by the OG Dragon Nest devs. And I want to take a minute here to talk about it. First and foremost, this game was originally developed as a gacha game. It is no longer a gacha game. It is a full premium title. This means that it is going to have an actual box price or a digital price. People are saying that it's going to be approximately $30 US. I don't know how accurate that is. Either way, all gacha has been completely removed. So the game is in no way a gacha game anymore. There will be no gacha cosmetics. There will be no gacha mounts. There will be no gacha characters, at the very least, that we know of. If they do introduce gacha as some kind of monetization somewhere down the line, you best bet I will cover it, because I think it's disingenuous and kind of scummy to pivot from being a gacha game to a premium game with a premium price, then introducing and adding in gacha after the fact. But I digress. As of right now, there is no gacha at all. There have been graphical overhauls, gameplay overhauls, story overhauls, because you can obtain all the characters in the game through the game. Overhauls, alterations, changes had to be made to address exactly how you go about obtaining those characters. These were characters that you would have otherwise acquired through gacha, and now you acquire as part of the story. This demo in specific gave us access to, I think it was like 8 or 10 different characters. All of them had their own unique weapons. All of them had their own unique gameplay styles. All of them had their own unique character aesthetic, which admittedly, some of them were really very, very good. I'm a huge anime guy, whether it's anime gacha games, anime MMOs, anime video games in general, like the Tales of games. I love anime, and these character models were fantastic. Now, there were people during the stream, I think we had about 400 concurrent across both Twitch and YouTube, that were saying it did feel a little bit like Genshin, maybe a little bit too much like Genshin. And I understand that, I do. I can see very stark similarities between Genshin and DragonSword. This game has been in development for several years now. With the success of Genshin, the open world anime action RPG style has become very popular among Asian companies. Every company wants their own Genshin Impact. Kudo Games has a successful game in the form of Wuthering Waves. This company wanted one in the form of Dragon Nest, and honestly, it's quite different. Yes, you can freely run around the open world. Yes, you can technically climb up mountains, climb up buildings. You do have to use a mount for that. You can't just do it willy-nilly, at least from what I tried. There is a functional form of swimming. There's a functional form of gliding. You glide with your mount. There is a functional form of diving as well, which I really like. For whatever reason, not enough MMOs integrate diving and then actually take the time to design underwater areas, but this game did, and I really do appreciate that. It adds depth, mind the pun, to the world and to exploration. It rewards you for jumping off that cliff and diving headfirst into the water. They could be treasures. There could be potentially monsters. Who knows? I feel like MMOs used to be a lot about exploration. Thankfully, games like World of Warcraft still are, but a lot of MMOs now are relatively auto path. You just kind of move from point A to point B, and there's no reward for exploration. In this game, there are numerous different ways to traverse the world. You can fly, you can glide, you can climb, you can swim, you can dive. It is very narrative driven, which admittedly isn't really very common in MMOs. I think World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, ESO, Guild Wars 2, they're the only MMOs like off the top of my head that have actual decent to good storylines. This game does as well. It gets a little bit cringe. The voice acting isn't bad. It was in Korean from what I recall. All the characters are very well designed. They are expressive. They are all animated. I like to see that. Yo, I don't mean to interrupt the video, but I need to take a moment here to thank all my incredible patrons over on Patreon whose support continues to allow for me to do regular videos like this every single day on this channel. Thank y'all so much, including our YouTube channel members. You guys mean the world to me. So do you guys as viewers as well. Now, without further ado, let's continue. In the previous version of the game, when it was a gacha game, it did have a form of multiplayer present, or it was supposed to have a form of multiplayer present. I don't know if this version is going to, but at the very least from what I got to experience, there were dungeons, there were boss fights out in the world. The combat itself was actually pretty decent. I think each character having their own weapon style. I think that the game actually benefits from being a gacha game, because in MMOs, I feel like combat systems are relatively bloated. You have, 5, 10, 15 classes. They all fit that kind of class archetype where there's like a mage and a melee warrior and a healer. In this game, each character doesn't necessarily fit a class archetype. Since you can swap out between 3 different characters, each character brings something unique to the table while boosting someone else, while comboing in certain abilities that allow for you to do bigger, more badass abilities. So instead of being a mage with 5 ice attacks, 5 fire attacks, and 5 lightning attacks, you have this mage that has 3 or 4 abilities. You swap out for a melee character that can now tank if you're taking excessive amounts of damage. You can swap to then a healer that allows for you to restore the HP of your entire team, so you can swap back to the mage to get some distance, to build up burst damage, to build up dots, and then jump back in as the melee character, deal mass damage. I like the combination. Maybe this is one of the reasons that I've grown to like gacha games so much. It allows for so many different, unique team compositions where every character fits interestingly into a team comp that differs from any other comp that anyone else has. That way you're not just playing one class, one way, with one set of abilities. This promotes immense amounts of freedom. Due to there being no gacha, you don't have to worry about FOMO, you don't have to worry about pay to win, you don't have to worry about predatory practices. The game is going to be a full price game, which means you buy it, then you play it, and then you're done with it. I don't know if they plan on pushing out updates. I don't know the content cadence. I don't know if they're going to release new characters that you're going to be able to purchase as like an add-on, kind of like was done in Kurtzspell. But the game was fun. It wasn't incredible. I dare say it wasn't even great. It was fun to jump into. It was aesthetically appealing to me. The characters looked cool. The gameplay was fun. The story was interesting enough for me to actually read through, since it was in Korean and I couldn't understand it. The world is full of things to explore, full of things to see. I like being able to fly. I like being able to glide. I like being able to dive underwater and explore. I love some of the NPCs and how detailed, abso-freaking-lutely detailed they are. And ultimately, at the end of the day, this game really, truly does appeal to me as a fan of anime games. So I'm going to play it. I'm going to stream it. And I hope to God it's a fun game and it does well. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment, so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you're not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.